Hey, what's up guys, it's DarkArmedDuelist and today doing a Kozmo deck profile. So I'm really excited to show you guys because this deck is an insanely powerful deck that summons out all sorts of really cool boss monsters like Kozmo Dark Destroyer. Now I have some absolutely insane tech cards in this particular build to show you guys, and I'm super excited to show you guys this build. So without further ado guys, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell in there so you can become part of the notification squad, and definitely check out the Patreon down in the description below for all those awesome rewards, like in your name description in a single video, getting assigned cards in the mail, and even getting to request a deck profile every single month you're a patron. So without further ado, let's get straight on into this. So first off, we're going to be playing 3 copies of Kozmo Dark Destroyer, which is our main boss monster of the deck. This card is super cool to be able to summon, and the main card you're going to be summoning off of your monsters, with the ability that if this card is normal or special summon, you can target one monster on the field and destroy it. This card cannot be targeted by an opponent's card effect, and if this card is destroyed by battle or by card effect and sent to the graveyard, you can banish this card from your graveyard and then special summon a level 7 or lower Kozmo monster from your deck, which is really cool because all of your Kozmo ships actually have the ability to banish themselves from the graveyard besides your copy of Dark Eclipser, and then special summon another Kozmo monster that has a lower level than them from the deck, which is a really awesome effect that basically every monster in this deck floats. I then play a single copy of Kozmo Dark Eclipser. Dark Eclipser is a great one of the deck, but it doesn't actually float. It adds from deck to hand, which is a little bit unfortunate, but you still need to play this card as a one of. And that's a really powerful effect that basically it cannot be targeted by an opponent's card effect, and during either player's turn when a trap card is activated, you can banish a Kozmo monster from your graveyard to negate the activation, and if you do, destroy that card. And if this card is destroyed by battle by card effect and sent to the graveyard, you can banish this card from your graveyard to add a level 8 or lower Kozmo monster from your deck to your hand, which is why we play this card as a one of. I then play just a single copy of Kozmo Forerunner. Forerunner has the ability that cannot be destroyed or cannot be targeted by opponent's card effects, and during your standby phase you gain 1,000 life points, which is a really powerful effect just to give you an additional 1,000 life points every single one of your standby phases. I then play 2 copies of Kozmo Sliprider. Sliprider is basically like an MST when it's summoned to the field, which is a really good effect because if it's normally special summon, you can target a spell or trap on the field and destroy that target, which is a really awesome effect. I then play a single copy of Kozmo Dark Lady. Dark Lady is a really powerful card because during either player's turn, you can banish this card to special summon out a level 6 or higher Kozmo monster from your hand. And you can only use each effect of this card once per turn, and once per turn during either player's turn, when another monster effect is activated, you can pay 1,000 life points to negate the activation, and if you do, destroy that monster. This card is a great card to put on your side of the field because it gives you that additional negation, which is a super powerful effect. And then play a single copy of Kozmo Wicked Witch. Wicked Witch is a good one in the deck because during either player's turn you can manage this card to special summon out a level 5 or higher Kozmo monster from your hand. And you can only use the effect of this card once per turn, but this card's unique effect is that once per turn during either player's turn, you can pay 1,000 life points, and this turn this card cannot be destroyed by battle or by card effects, which is a really powerful effect to be able to protect this card. And then play a single copy of Good Witch. Good Witch is basically a Book of Moon because it has the ability to pay 500 life points, target a face-up monster opponent controls, and change it to face-down defense position, which is a really awesome effect just to be able to use this card as a Book of Moon. I then play a single copy of Kozmo Farm Girl. Farm Girl is a good one of in the deck that is also a searcher with the ability that when this card inflicts battle damage to your opponent, you can pay 500 life points to add a Kozmo card from your deck to your hand, which is a crazy powerful effect. And then play a single copy of Sword Trooper. Sword Trooper is a good one of as well because we do have E-Telly in the deck to be able to special summon it out, just like your copy of Farm Girl, with the ability that during either player's turn you can banish this card to special summon a level 4 or higher Kozmo monster from your hand, which the majority of your Kozmo pilots actually share that ability. From your copy of Cosmo all the way down to your copy of Tin Can have the ability to banish themselves and then special summon out a monster that is at least 1 level higher from your hand to your side of the field. Really awesome effect. It also has the ability that once per turn, you can pay 1,000 life points to target a psychic Kozmo monster in your graveyard and special summon it. I then play a single copy of Strawman. Strawman is a good one of in the deck. I have considered cutting this card out of the build, but you really need it as an additional pilot in the deck. And it has a really interesting effect that once per turn, you can pay 500 life points to target one of your banished Kozmo monsters and special summon it, but its effects are negated, and also destroying it during the end phase. I don't find myself using this card as as much as the other cards, which is why I've considered cutting it out of the deck, but I really like having the consistency of having all the pilots that we have in the deck, which is about 9 in total, including your copy of your Kozmo Dark Lady. I then play 3 copies of Tin Can. Tin Can is a really good 3 of in the deck that you're always summoning off your copy of E-Telly. This card is so important in the deck because this card has the ability that during either player's turn, you can banish this card to special summon a level 2 or higher Kozmo monster from your hand. But the insane effect of this card is that once per turn, during the end phase, you can pay 500 life points to reveal 3 Kozmo cards with different names in your deck. Your opponent randomly picks one of them and adds it to your hand, and you send the rest to the grave, which is really good because we have plenty of cards to get cards back out of the grave, like copies of Back to the Front, but being able to get a copy of your Dark Destroyer to your hand is a really powerful effect to be able to use during the next turn, to be able to use this card's effect to be able to summon out your copy of Dark Destroyer during the opponent's turn to be able to pop a monster, which is super good. I then have 2 really cool tech monsters that we're actually going to play Guess That card. So I'm going to lay these 2 cards face down right here, and it's going to be 2 extra monsters in the deck. It is the same card, and we're going to play Guess That card. So comment down below what you think this super spicy tech is down in the comments down below. And we're going to reveal it in 3, 2, and definitely don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and hit that bell in there so you can become part of the notification squad. And if you are a part of the notification squad, definitely comment down below that you are, and I will give you guys a heart. So let's go ahead and reveal it in 3, 2, 1. And it's going to be 2 copies of Lord of the Heavenly Prison. Yes, I am playing a trap version of Kozmo, which is super consistent with this card. And this card helps protect your back row, which is really, really good because we play so many traps in this deck. These are actually all the traps that we play in the deck. So we play a bunch of trap cards in this deck, and I found that cards like Harpy's Feather Duster really hurt in this particular build, so I ended up playing this card as a 2-of, and I love it. It has the ability that during your main phase, you can activate this card's effect. This card becomes revealed in your hand until your opponent's the end of your opponent's turn. Also, while this card is revealed by this effect, set cards on the field cannot be destroyed by card effects. And if a set spell trap card is activated, except during the damage step, you can special summon this card from your hand, and if you do, if you activate this effect while this card is revealed, you can reveal and set 1 spell or trap from your deck, but banish it during the end phase of the next turn, which gives you an opportunity to actually activate it and get to any card that you need, which is really cool. But usually I'm just revealing this card to protect my back row and then putting it back and constantly revealing it over and over again, which is really cool. So that's it for the monsters, guys. Let's get into the spells. So for the spells, we're just going to be playing 2 different spells, and that's going to be 3 copies of Kozmo Town. Kozmo Town is an insane field spell, one of the most crazy field spells ever created, with the ability to once per turn target one of your banished Kozmo monsters, return to the hand, and if you lose life points equal to that monster's original level, and then once per turn, you reveal any number of Kozmo monsters in your hand, shuffle them into the deck, and then draw equal amounts of cards that you shuffled into the deck. And if this card in the field spell zone is destroyed by card effect, you can add a Kozmo card from your deck to your hand, which is really insane. I then play 3 copies of E-Telly. E-Telly is in here because it can summon any of your pilots that are level 3 or lower, like your copy of Farm Girl, Sword Trooper, Strawman, or even Tin Can directly from your deck to your side of the field, which is a really, really good effect. So that's it for the spells, guys. Let's get into the traps. So for the traps, we're going to be starting out with 2 copies of Trap Trick. I have bumped Trap Trick down to 2 from the last build because I am playing Lord of the Heavenly Prison now, so I have bumped this card down a little bit, where you have a little bit more option with your copies of Lord of the Heavenly Prison to be able to get the exact trap that you need. I then play 2 copies of Kozmojo. Kozmojo is a great card to be able to pop one of your Cosmos and then banish a card that your opponent controls, and it does not target the opponent's monster, which is really, really good. I then play 2 copies of Back to the Front, which is really good to bring back one of your monsters from the graveyard into defense position, which is just an insane effect. 2 copies of Storm Dragon's Return. This card is insane in the deck because it lets you target one of your banished monsters and special summon to the field, but return to the hand during the end phase, which is a really good effect to be able to grab back one of your ships that you banished to be able to summon an additional Kozmo monster. I then play 3 copies of Dogmatica Punishment. Dogmatica Punishment is insanely powerful because it lets you target a face that monster your opponent controls, and you send a monster with equal or higher attack from your extra deck to the graveyard, and if you do, destroy that card. Now we do play cards like Elder Entity Nist and Wind Pegasus in the extra deck to be able to send to the graveyard off your copy of Dogmatic Punishment to give you a really big variety of effects that you're going to be able to get by the card that you send to the graveyard. For example, if you send your copy of Elder Antinist, you get an additional pop, but if you send your copy of Wind Pegasus, you get an additional bounce, which is really good. I then play 3 copies of Torrential Tribute. Torrential Tribute is really good to be able to board wipe the field, so it's just a definite 3 in this deck to be able to completely board wipe the field of your opponent's monsters and your monsters, which will all float into additional Kozmo cards. I then play 3 copies of Ice Dragon's Prison. Ice Dragon's Prison is insanely good in the deck because it lets you target one monster in your opponent's graveyard and special summon it to your field, but its effects are negated, and then you can manage a monster from both players' fields that have the same type as each other. Now, you don't have to banish the card. You can just use this card as a Monster Reborn to be able to grab your opponent's card out of the graveyard and put it on your field. For example, I used to be able to use this card with DPE to grab DPEs out of the graveyard, put them on my field so they wouldn't go off and summon back to the opponent's field. But now you can grab all sorts of really powerful cards like Mirror Jade, put them on your field, and then keep them, which is really, really cool. I love this card in this deck, and it's an absolutely insane tech card. So that's it for the main deck, guys. Let's get into the extra deck. So for the extra deck, we're going to be playing a single copy of Dingirsu. I might as well go ahead and say we don't actually go into the extra deck all that much. So this is basically just toolbox cards that you can play. But we're going to start out with a single copy of Dingirsu. Dingirsu is really good because when you make it, you can send a card that your opponent controls to the graveyard and it doesn't target. We play a single copy of Nova and a single copy of Infinity because you can make it with Slip Rider with a copy of Nova and then step into your copy of Infinity to give you a walking negate, which is really good. One copy of Volcasaurus because it can pop and do burn damage. One copy of Gaia Dragon because you can make it on top of Volcasaurus to give you an additional material for your Zeus. One copy of number 97 because number 97 is just really good to be able to use this card, detach a material from this card, and then make either your copy of number 38 to negate spells or a copy of number 100 to give you a 9,000 attack point monster, which is just really insane to be able to get a monster that big on the field. I then play a single copy of Breaksword. Breaksword is really easy to make in the deck. You should play a lot of level 3s in the deck to be able to make this card, and then make a copy of Downer Magician, and then make a copy of Zeus, which is really nice to be able to board wipe the field just in a pinch situation in case you need it. Then for the Dogmatic Punishment targets, I'm playing a single copy of Five-Headed Dragon because it has 5,000 attack points, just in case my opponent has a monster that has more than 2,500 attack points on the field. One copy of Elder Entityness to give me additional pops on the field with this card. One copy of Cyframe Lord Omega, which has the ability to once return during your opponent's standby phase, or excuse me, if this card is in the graveyard, you can target one other card in the grave, shuffle both this card and that card into the deck, which is a pretty good effect to be able to grab any card that you need back out of the graveyard by sending this card to the grave with Dogmatic Punishment. And then finally, a single copy of Wind Pegasus. That has the ability you can banish this card from the graveyard and then target one card your opponent controls and shuffle it into the deck, which is a really good effect. So that's it for the deck, guys. I hope you did enjoy it. It's a super fun deck to be able to play with. If you guys have never played with Kozmo before, you definitely should give it a try because this build is super fun, especially with the trap build. That the way it plays is just really interesting, especially with Lord of the Heavenly Prison, which is just such a cool tech card. I've really loved playing that card in this deck. So anyways, guys, this is DarkArmedDuelist. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell in there so you can come part of our notification squad, and we'll see you guys in the next video. See you later, guys.